right, good to have you back. It's 128 days. Yes, the countdown has really begun to the 2019 general election.
Of course, political parties have now produced candidates for various elective positions, and it's game on. 91 political parties, a plethora of candidates. The battle for the presidency promises to be tough, as political giants and baby elephants will go head-to-head in what might be Nigeria's most competitive presidential poll.
Absolutely. Political watchers say the event is good for Nigeria's democracy, especially at a time when the country is somewhat at the edge of the precipice. Which of the many candidates jostling for Nigeria's top job can fix the country's problems and deliver to Nigerians the dividends of democracy?
That's a $1 million question. And we have the ADP.
Oh, you want to say million naira question?
Okay, well, it depends on where naira is now alongside the dollar.
Oh, naira.
We have the ADP governorship candidate, Lagos State, Babatunde Gbadamosi, in the studio. And from Abuja, we have the presidential candidate of All Blending Party, Nicholas Felix. Presidential candidate of Yes Party, Alester Surde, is also joining us via Skype from Abuja. Good morning, gentlemen, and thank you for finding time to join us.
Good morning.
Let's begin with you right here in Lagos. There are 91 political parties. There are some who are saying that we should have learned from what transpired in Osun, where for the APC, the other guy who had about over 40,000 votes could have easily, made that party win in the first ballot. The PDP, on the other hand, the senator who had about 120,000 votes, if he was still with the PDP, the ballot would
have been a clear,
it would have been a decisive
win or lose.
Why divide the votes in 2019?
Well, first of all, let me address the Osun issue. To my mind, it's clear that the APC lost in Osun. It's very clear. Yes, it was a very small margin, but it was a margin. And there was a loss. There was a victory by the PDP, and I'm not sitting here to hold brief for the PDP, by the way. But I believe that we must endeavor to enthrone decency in our democracy. What we saw in Osun, especially
because of time, my question really
what we saw in Osun, especially
is the implication on the general election.
What we saw in Osun, especially in that by-election, was a disgrace to our democracy. So now that said, that said, the idea of having a multiplicity of political parties is something that I think will help grow our democracy. If we begin to circumscribe the political space and start insisting that we must only have a certain number of political parties, then we are not practicing democracy anymore. We're sliding slowly but surely towards tyranny.
Even when you know that these other parties do not stand a chance if they don't come together.
Well,
absolutely.
Who are we to judge?
You know what? Let's even take it to...
We have a rich history behind us.
Other candidates. Alester Surde is also joining us via Skype. On the issue of 91 political parties, let me even just cast that aside. Are we saying that Nigeria cannot align whatever ideologies that it has politically and in the area of governance in such a way that it will make it easier for the electorate who goes to the polls to decide who they should be voting for come 2019?
Well, thank you very much for having me. It's a pleasure to always be a Nigerian at any given time. As one person always mentioned, democracy is about choice. And when you talk about ideology, yes, we all have different ideologies. Actually, 91 political parties does not really represent the ideologies and the choice of the Nigerian people. Remember, we are more than 190 million people in this country, and just having 91 political parties with different ideologies is very, very good and very strong for the democracy in the country. But apart from that as well, you agree that there has been coalition, alliances, in preparation for the 2019 election. So which means some of this political party will end up collapsing into smaller number. But for us in the Yes Party, the truth of the matter is the position Nigeria is presently as of today was brought to us by the people who are still trying to rule and lead the country. So for us personally, I don't think we need to join hands with others because we believe in our ideology. And apart from that, the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria actually indicated whoever become a leader, what he needs to do, not just based on their manifesto. It is there in black and white. So I believe that having choice is very, very important, and Nigeria belongs to each and every Nigerian.
Okay.
Yeah, let's get to our Abuja studio and also speak very quickly with Nicholas Felix. Prior to this time, we've had quite a number of coalition prospects. There's the CUPP, Coalition of United Political Parties. There's PACT, presidential aspirants coming together. In all of these cases, some people have opted out, you know, perhaps because the decisions made at this fora did not tally with their interest. Is it a function of personal interest, you know, or how exactly do you perceive this seeming disturbing development?
Yeah, for the part coming together, actually I was part of them. I attended one of the meetings. When I got there, I discovered it was not well put together. There was no time for us to discuss with the people. I felt it would have been better instead of just a few of us, about 12 of us coming together and just speaking to one another. We should have been able to call the people and give a debate, and the people should have voted. It was an arranged, a pre-planned thing by a group of persons who wanted to just put some of us in. So at the dying minute, I had to pull out because it wasn't well planned. A few people came together and decided, they're going to choose somebody and to put us in without proper planning. Nobody saw my manifesto. I didn't have the opportunity to speak. I felt there should have been some debate and let the people vote. So that's why we put out. So it wasn't well planned.
Okay, let's bring it to Babatunde Gbadamosi of the ADP. You are a gubernatorial candidate for Lagos State. Let's get that clear. The other two gentlemen are going for...
They're going for the bigger job.
Yeah, the big one. Are you not too young to run or not too old?
Come on.
Or not too old to run? That's an aside, just exactly, and that's exactly what I wanted to get out of you. But, you know, come to think of it, the Lagos State level, let's bring it to your level where you are running as it concerns you. What do you think, really, that you have to offer to a state like Lagos, 20 million population and still counting, has all the challenges that it has now? And on the other hand, a lot of people would say that Lagos has made a whole lot of progress that they don't see any other person actually doing much better than what has been done right now. I wonder what you say to that.
Well, first of all, I'll say that...
and what do you think is even missing in Lagos?
I'll first of all say that I'm 51. I'm not young.
Okay.
All right? So the idea that I'm some kind of youth, throw that out the window. That's the first thing. At 51, I've garnered enough experience, enough life experience to be able to come and contribute something more tangible than what's going on now, what has been going on for the last 19 years in Lagos, to the polity and to the quality of lives of our people. Now, what's missing in Lagos? We lack infrastructure, basic infrastructure. We don't have water, we don't have good roads, we don't have electricity, we don't have cabled telephony, we don't have gas distributed to the homes, we don't have basic hygiene, no central sewage in any part of Lagos.
Okay, good. It's interesting you even point those out, but you know,
so what I plan to do,
the presidency is our focus. Actually, this morning. Yes. Now, looking at based on what you've just said, yes, you've made a good point.
And if you'd like me to just carry on,
yeah,
I'll enlighten you a bit more.
Okay.
Okay. Now, what my plan is first of all to build an economy for Lagos. Right now, we don't have an economy. What we have is an extraction plant where the government sits at the top, squeezes the people for more and more money, announces more and more IGR, takes on more and more debt. And yet, on the ground, in terms of actual development, we see very little. So they build one flyover and celebrate it over and over and over, and you think, you know what, Lagos is doing really well. No, it's not. You can't compare Lagos to any other state in Nigeria. If we want to make any comparisons with Lagos, we should be comparing with, at least at the very minimum, other territories in Africa. We should be comparing with Kigali. Kigali is small compared to Lagos, but it has moved far further than Lagos, despite coming out of a war. Addis Ababa is similar to Lagos. It has moved far further than Lagos, despite coming out of a war. Abidjan, okay, is similar to Lagos. It has moved far further in terms of development, per capita prosperity for its people than Lagos,
That's all right.
despite coming out of a civil war. Monrovia, tiny Monrovia, came out of a civil war that Nigeria helped to end, okay? It has moved far further in terms of per capita
right.
happiness index for
Let's-
its people.
Let's
So-
bring in.
Okay.
Let's bring in Alista in.
We're trying
on
to
this,
maximize time,
yes,
so you have to
conversation
understand.
because
Yes,
of time.
sir.
Alista, you are the presidential candidate of the Yes Party. Like I learned the APC, I have to really learn all. Understand all these new parties and memorize them by heart. But then there appears to be a humongous task ahead of the umpire. INEC ahead of the general election next year. Quite some commendable job in 2015, but what exactly do you expect INEC to do differently given this huge number of candidates that will be participating next year?
Well, the number one, I believe that INEC that is taking us into 2019 need to leave behind a solid and a strong legacy more than the previous administration of the INEC organization. And I want to believe that the professor who is the chairman is definitely going to play according to the rules. We are not all equal, but of course, democracy is equal in the term of that everybody decides by his own electoral value. So at the end of the day, what we definitely look forward to is a free and fair election whereby the smallest can indeed become the David. And there is no doubt that is possible, because what we're talking about as well is we have more than 60% of youth who are electorate in the country. And this is, as the gentleman mentioned, it's not about youth. We are qualified. The Constitution allows somebody who is just 35, a Nigerian with a school certificate, to contest for the office of the presidency. So I'm definitely looking forward to where the umpire will be absolutely independent, because at the end of the day, some people might be talking about, well, maybe they have something against them. But we're saying if a new government comes in, they are absolutely protected, just like every other Nigerian will be protected. And this is what we have been doing, and this is what we're actually talking about. With our own experience around the world representing Nigeria, selling Nigeria for the last 20 years internationally, we have Ghana experience, and we definitely believe that INEC, without any doubt, should be absolutely independent. They have the authority, they have the mandate, and we're all looking forward to a delivery of a wonderful 2019 election that will change the history of Nigeria and open the door, not just to Nigeria as Nigerian, but to the international community to believe that Nigeria, without any doubt, is an icon of hope to not just Nigeria, not just to the African continent, but to the Black race.
Very well put there. Nicholas Felix of the All Blending Party in Abuja there. Former President Olusegun Obasanjo did indicate not too long ago that whoever is going to emerge in 2019 really needs to understand the economy. I wonder how much of the economy you really understand in such a way that it will translate into good governance for Nigerians, whether it's in the area of security, of course, the economy itself, and all the other challenges that Nigeria is facing.
Yeah, first of all, let me correct. I'm from PCP, People's Coalition Party, not ABP, PCP, People Coalition Party. First of all, yes.
Thank you.
I'm a businessman also. I own 7 companies, and I have at least, for the past 4 years, I've employed over 450 people in the United States who work in our companies. Majority of them are Nigerians. Now, when we speak about the economy, there's no way the economy of Nigeria can improve if we don't fix the issue of security. The major problems we have in Nigeria is the issue of security. We have to fix the problem. Otherwise, there's no way we can attract foreign investors. Now, you must understand that no government on earth, not Nigeria, not Great Britain, not America, has the capacity or the ability to employ all her citizens. The last time I checked, the federal government in 2015 have at least about 85,000 employees. That's less than 1% of the population. Then how do we create jobs for the people? We need to have investors. We need to have people building companies so they can in turn employ people to work. If people don't have jobs, there's no way they can get money and there's no way they can shop. It's only when you have money that you can spend. So I'm experienced in that area because I've been able to create jobs for over 450 people at this young age. Ask most of our politicians independently. Has anyone, apart from being in the government office, has anyone been able to boast, they say at the age of 37, they can boast that they employ over 450 people. I have done that. I think if I bring that experience into play in 2019, I think we'll be able to get more Nigerians to work.
Etoro, let's bring it home here. I'm sure that your party is also competing in the presidential election, Babatunde Gbadamasi.
Yes, we are.
And
yes.
what exactly are you bringing to the table that will make Nigerians look your way?
Well, we intend to put Nigerians back to work as quickly as possible. And the way to achieve that, as has been said by the other candidates, is first of all to achieve peace. If there's no peace in the space, then we can't really go to work securely. The Northeast, the Middle Belt, pockets of the Southeast, pockets of the South-South, you know, and even in the Southwest, there are pockets of disturbances, of insurgency, attacks on villagers by, you know, militia, herdsmen, whatever you want to call them. But the problem is there has not been an adequate response from the security agencies. There are allegations that some security agencies are even colluding with the invaders. Now, what we want to do is end these insecurity problems.
Yeah, but
How
don't you think insecurity is a symptom rather than the ailment, the disease itself? A lot of people have said that economic injustice that's going on has actually given rise to
in certain ways,
security challenges.
So
how will you fix the economy? Some people will say it's the economy, it's all about the economy.
In certain ways, this administration has contributed in no small measure to those insecurities that you mentioned, to those economic injustices that you mentioned. Imagine the World Bank chief saying openly that the president of Nigeria told him that every World Bank project that came to Nigeria had to go to the north. Now, if that isn't injustice, I don't know what is. Now, at the end of the day, when we do end the insecurities, the jobs will flow. That's just the way it is. The other man talked about encouraging investors to come in. Investors will not come where there's a likelihood that they will get shot. They will not, or that they will be kidnapped. Okay? We need to work on insecurity. If we sort that out, then the jobs will flow.
You know, already preparations are in top gear, you know, ahead of the general election. Campaign haven't started yet.
Yeah.
But then there is the question of what mode should this take? Some already have started accusing, you know, other party of assassinating their character. In other climes, they will say that
punching below the belt,
yes,
more or less. Yeah.
But if you look at the previous U.S. Election, the character of the people at stake also
was an issue.
Part of the issue.
It's key.
What are your thoughts along this line?
Well, I've always felt that the Nigerian media, the fourth estate of the realm, has never really done its job as regards the interrogation of the character of the people that present themselves for political office. We never look into their past, we never look into their antecedents, we never question where they're coming from, you know, so that people who have been known to be criminals in the past will get into elected office, nobody will question them. People who have a history of tyranny will get into office, nobody will question their past. People who have a history of corruption will get into, even in the public space, will get into office, and nobody, journalists will not ask them what on earth is going on. Yeah. I've presented myself for political office, for instance, and I expect people to start questioning me, to start asking me, where are you coming from? What's your experience? What have you done? How many people have you employed in your life outside of government and without access to government resources?
Yes,
nobody has asked me those questions.
All right, Alistair Shoyode via Skype there. You are of the Yes Party. Now, I wonder whether you think, like it's been raised recently, but the question of integrity, how much of it really matters when it comes to who, becomes president at the end of the day in 2019? That's right. Would it really matter, or should we be focusing more on the dividends of democracy, whether a man has character or not? And I wonder how much of it you have.
I have well, for somebody who has practiced his professional career outside the country for more than a decade representing Nigeria and selling Nigeria in the international community, then without any doubt, you know that is a man that has the highest level of integrity. And somebody who has been selling Nigeria for more than 2 decades. Indeed, there is no doubt that integrity is very, very important. It is very important as well, without any doubt, for the media, enthusiasts, the electorate to ask of or every person that wants to be elected, man or woman, who are they, where are they coming from, what have they done for Nigeria? Not everybody needs to create job. because some people do not create jobs. What they sell is their intellectual knowledge, is their brain, is their creativity. That's what they contribute into the development of their society, community, state, and nation. So everybody has a role to play. You can't ask a carpenter to go and fix a car because he does not know. But at the end of the day, in terms of finding the best carpenter, that gentleman or that woman is still the best. So you go for him. So what we're now saying is, please let's examine everybody. Yes, is a positive word. Yes, it's progressive. Do you want a better Nigeria? Yes. Do you want the social media people to be accurate? Yes. Do you want a good education? Yes. Do you want good life? Yes. Can Nigeria be a greater nation? The answer is yes.
Okay,
Indeed,
let me stay with you. Would you fight corruption the way we have done thus far? Because that seems to be a major problem with us in Nigeria now, the issue of corruption. I wonder how you would go about it, very quickly.
See, this is not, leadership is by example. And where I'm coming from, in Nigeria and outside the country, I have led by example what God has given me. The second point is, it's not just about corruption. It's about allowing equality to be the prime in our country, allowing justice to take position. So whoever commits crime, not corruption, crime, you should face the music of the law of the country. And by our own example, by our own body language, anybody that knows who we are, or we bring it onto the table, will absolutely know that if you commit any crime, we're not talking about corruption here, you commit any crime against the nation, you will face the music immediately. And the fact of the matter is, we know where our best brains are. We will unleash them to go and find these people that are committing crime without any favor or pride and putting aside. But Nigeria, as I said, belongs to each and every Nigerian.
It's all right, Alistair.
Equal pride, equal peace and justice to each and every one of us.
You made your point quite clearly. Let's also stay in Abuja with Nicholas Felix. Quite a number of issues coming up ahead of the general election for the APC. Corruption is at the root of everything. The PDP is talking about restructuring. What issues exactly matter to you now?
What matters is restructuring the police force. I repeat, you see, if you go abroad, you notice Nigerians abroad, if you see anyone in jail, they are only in jail for two reasons. Many of them are for immigration crime, to me, which is not a moral crime. And many of them, of course, for what we call the Yahoo. You don't see Nigerians committing such other crimes abroad. But when we come here, because we know the police force, they don't implement the law, we tend to break the law. So we need to be able to empower police officers so that they can enforce the law. And that's why I go back to the issue of security again. We have to focus. How do we ensure that our cities, the villages, our towns are safe? So to me, any presidential candidate who don't make security their number one priority, I have a problem believing them, because until the life of Nigerians become valuable to the government, do you know the basic responsibility of any government is to protect the life and the properties of our citizens. So we have to make security a priority so we can attract foreign investors to come to our country. Even Nigerians abroad who are very rich, many of them don't even want to come to their own country to invest. We're talking about the economy. The economy can never increase until we fix security.
Okay.
A few years ago, the owner of Western Union came to Nigeria for the first time to visit. And it was recorded that Nigeria has the highest rate of inflow of money from Western Union apart among other countries on the face of the earth. And when the man got to Nigeria, he was amazed that all the money is still not developed. We need to fix security. That is why we must make it a priority. Everyone who is running for office must
Your
make
point
sure security
is definitely
is
well taken. We've run out of time, but let's allow Babatunde Gbadamosi to talk about this. He says he will restructure the police, that's where to start from. Empower the police to actually, prosecute wrongdoers and, get them punished. But what kind of restructuring are you looking at? Because the R word has been all over the place. Everybody's saying, I will restructure. But a lot of people think it's more of lip service than really what they want to do.
I would love to see a devolved Nigeria. Devolution of powers. Back to the states and obviously back to the local governments.
Would that be the first thing you would tackle, and how quickly
No, it would not.
would you want to do that?
The first thing I want to tackle is personal prosperity of the individuals, because the prosperity of Lagos, for instance, the prosperity of Lagosians, for instance, individually, is the prosperity of Lagos. The sum total of the prosperity of each individual Lagosian is what translates to prosperity for the state of Lagos, or
And at the
Lagos State,
federal
as it
level?
were. And of course, as the states prosper, the federal will also prosper, following that corollary. Now, at the end of the day, what we're after is to build an economy for Lagos based on 3 prongs: tourism, trade and industry, and also agriculture. Quite unlikely, but there are ways now in which we can make Lagos food secure. Okay?
That is, if your party's candidate emerges president, then he would support devolution of powers, like you've said, because if the structure of the country remains as it is now, I wonder how much you can do, whether it's Lagos or Ekiti or...
we can work with what we have. We can work with what we have. I can work with what we have right now to make Lagos more secure, more stable, more economically prosperous. I can do that. I've already proven in a tiny corner of Lagos what we can do. I employ over 1,500 people directly and another 10,000 or so indirectly, okay, at Amen Estate in the Eleko area. Now, if you go there, it's a little bubble of prosperity in just that part of Lagos. We've had 24 hours electricity for the last 8 years, water, good roads, no flooding, good drainage, cabled telecoms. It's wonderful. And that's what I want to spread to Lagos.
Okay, like we always do on this show, we'll ask each of you gentlemen, of course you are doing Lagos, but our presidential candidates, what would you say to Nigerians, one final word for Nigerians, why you should be the man for the job? That's Alistair Shoyode.
You have just 30 seconds.
Well, thank you very much. Nigerians always know good product when they see it, and I'm the best product out there. Nigeria always want to have the best of their country. Indeed, without any doubt, what Mr. Shode has been doing is selling Nigeria to the international community, founding the first black TV station in Europe called Ben Television, and of course has contributed. He is a former chairman of Nigerians in Diaspora. Almost every leader I have learned from, and I'm ready and best option for Nigeria in terms of 2019. And I look forward to working with Nigerians, not as I, but as we. Nigerian. Yes to a future country.
Okay.
Yes to making Nigeria a greater country. Thank you.
All right. Let's hear from you very quickly, Nicholas. You have just 30 seconds as we wrap this up.
Yeah, I want to say to Nigerians watching across the nation, there is still hope. I know many of us have given up on politics. We have given up on our leaders. There is still hope. My only advice for us is don't sell your vote. Make sure you listen to what the presidential candidates have to offer. And on that day, when you go cast your vote, no matter who the person may be, make sure you do it from a free conscience. Don't sell your vote. There's still hope for Nigeria. I know Nigeria is going to get better.
Okay, very good one there. Babatunde Gbadamosi, last word from you. Why should Nigerians vote for an ADP presidential candidate?
Well, at the end of the day, every Nigerian is after one thing, and that's prosperity. And as our presidential candidate has said, he's interested in making Nigerians prosperous, and that's the same thing that we're saying in Lagos.
What's his name, by the way?
His name is Sani Yabagi.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, go ahead. Very good.
That's what we're after in Lagos as well. Nobody came to Lagos to look at a co-bridge or Third Mainland Bridge. Everybody came to prosper.
Yes.
And we're after making Lagosians prosper. 24 million Lagosians have no right to be poor. And that's what I'm after.
Thank you very much, gentlemen, for coming. Babatunde Gbadamosi, Nicholas Felix, Alistair Shoyode, it's good to have you on the show this morning. I hope that all of you can meet after the show. And, I mean, you have some fantastic ideas.
Brilliant
Perhaps
ideas.
put heads together.
And who knows? Who
And
knows?
collabo.
Who knows? Good collabo at that. Well, before we go, let's tell you that the views and reactions of our resource persons on the show this morning have nothing to do with TVC.
That's right.
Thank you so much for joining us. Okay, do we have enough time? Okay, not enough time for another look at the headlines this morning. But we'll have to say thank you very much for joining us. Let's see you again tomorrow, Friday. I am Ngozi Alebu.
And I'm Nefemi Oguntoye. Bye for now.